What if extinction wasn't the end? Around the world, scientists have declared countless species extinct, believing they had vanished forever. But every so often, nature throws a curveball, and an animal thought to be lost returns, sometimes after decades, other times after millions of years. These rediscoveries, known as Lazarus species, shock the scientific community and rewrite what we thought we knew about survival. Today, we're diving into the incredible stories of 6 animals that defied extinction, proving that nature always has surprises in store. Some were hiding in remote jungles, others in the depths of the ocean, but all of them share one thing: they came back from the dead. The mountain chicken frog is one of the largest frogs in the world, growing up to 8 inches, 20 centimeters, long and weighing as much as a small rabbit. Native to the Caribbean islands of Dominica and Montserrat, it was once a dominant predator in its ecosystem, feeding on insects, small reptiles, and even other frogs. Despite its impressive size, this amphibian got its strange name because locals considered its meat to be as tasty as chicken. Unfortunately, this very reputation contributed to its near extinction, as overhunting dramatically reduced its numbers. While hunting took its toll, the real catastrophe struck in the early 2000s with the arrival of the chytrid fungus, a deadly pathogen responsible for wiping out amphibian populations worldwide. The disease spread rapidly across the Caribbean, killing thousands of mountain chicken frogs in a matter of years. By 2004, scientists feared the species had been completely wiped out in the wild, with no recorded sightings for years. It seemed like the mountain chicken had croaked its last breath. Then, in 2018, a glimmer of hope emerged. Researchers exploring Dominica's remote forests heard an all-too-familiar sound: the deep, resonant call of a mountain chicken frog. Following the calls, they discovered a small but surviving population, proof that some individuals had resisted the deadly fungus. This discovery led to new conservation efforts, including captive breeding programs aimed at saving the species from total extinction. Today, scientists are carefully managing reintroduction efforts, experimenting with ways to make the frogs resistant to chytrid fungus before releasing them back into the wild. Though their numbers remain critically low, the mountain chicken frog's unexpected survival proves that even the most endangered species can fight back against extinction. If you were to make a list of animals that should not exist today, the coelacanth would be at the very top. This ancient fish was thought to have gone extinct 66 million years ago, disappearing around the same time as the dinosaurs. Its fossilized remains painted a picture of a bizarre, prehistoric creature with thick, armored scales and lobed fins, features that suggested it was an evolutionary link between fish and land-dwelling animals. For over a century, scientists believed the coelacanth was nothing more than a relic of the past. That belief was shattered in 1938, when a fisherman off the coast of South Africa made a shocking catch. Among his haul was a living coelacanth, a species that had supposedly been extinct for millions of years. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. How could such a large, ancient fish have gone unnoticed for so long? But the surprises didn't stop there. In 1998, a second species of coelacanth was discovered off the coast of Indonesia, proving that this so-called living fossil had persisted in multiple locations across the Indian Ocean. Despite its long history, the coelacanth remains one of the most mysterious creatures on Earth. It lives at depths of 500 to 2,300 feet, 150 to 700 meters, making it incredibly difficult to study. Unlike most fish, it doesn't swim like a typical predator. Instead, it uses its lobed fins to walk through the water, a movement eerily similar to the way four-legged land animals move. This unusual trait has led scientists to believe that coelacanth are more closely related to early amphibians than to modern fish. Today, the coelacanth is critically endangered, with only a few hundred individuals estimated to exist. Conservationists are working to protect them from deep-sea fishing operations, which pose one of the biggest threats to their survival. Their rediscovery reminds us that even the most ancient creatures can still surprise us, lurking in the depths, waiting to be found. The Takahe, a large, colorful, flightless bird, was once widespread across New Zealand. With its deep blue and green feathers, bright red beak, and sturdy legs, it was perfectly adapted to the country's grasslands. However, with the arrival of humans and invasive predators like stoats, feral cats, and rats, its numbers plummeted. By the late 1800s, the Takahe had disappeared entirely from human sight. Despite extensive searches, no evidence of their existence was found, leading scientists to declare them extinct. For over 50 years, the Takahe remained a ghost species, until 1948, when New Zealand Dr. Geoffrey Orble made a remarkable discovery in the Murchison Mountains. Deep in the remote wilderness, he and his team stumbled upon a small but thriving population of Takahes that had somehow managed to survive undetected. The rediscovery stunned the world and kickstarted one of the most ambitious conservation efforts in history. Since then, New Zealand's Department of Conservation has worked tirelessly to protect and breed the Takahe, slowly increasing its numbers. Unlike other species that struggle to recover, the Takahe has shown remarkable resilience. Carefully monitored breeding programs and predator-free sanctuaries have helped its population grow, though it remains one of the rarest birds in the world. Today, the Takahe story is one of hope. From a species thought to be lost forever, it has made an incredible comeback, proving that even in the face of extinction, nature sometimes finds a way to survive. The Cuban Solenodon is a small, shrew-like mammal with an extraordinary secret. It is one of the few venomous mammals on Earth. This nocturnal predator, which resembles a mix between a rat and an anteater, has remained virtually unchanged for millions of years, making it a true living fossil. It possesses an elongated snout, tiny eyes, and a specialized groove in its teeth that delivers venom, an ability almost unheard of in mammals. For centuries, the Cuban Solenodon thrived undisturbed in the dense forests of Cuba. However, with the arrival of European settlers, its fate took a drastic turn. As humans cleared forests and introduced invasive predators like dogs, cats, and mongooses, the Cuban Solenodon's population was decimated. By the 1970s, scientists feared that the species had been driven to extinction. No confirmed sightings had been recorded for decades, and extensive surveys failed to find any trace of the elusive creature. Many believed it had been wiped out by habitat destruction and competition from more aggressive predators. Then, in 1973, a small population was miraculously discovered in an isolated region of eastern Cuba. This shocking find reignited hope that the species could still persist in the wild. In the years that followed, sporadic sightings continued, but it wasn't until 2003 that researchers were able to capture a living specimen, proving beyond doubt that the Cuban Solenodon had survived. Even more astonishingly, a second confirmed capture occurred in 2012, reinforcing the belief that a small but stable population still existed. Today, conservationists are working to protect the Cuban Solenodon by preserving its natural habitat and controlling invasive predators. Despite these efforts, it remains one of the rarest mammals in the world. Its survival against all odds is a testament to nature's resilience and the ability of some species to persist even when the world seems determined to erase them. Few insects have a more dramatic extinction and rediscovery story than the Lord Howe Island stick insect, a creature so rare it was once considered the rarest insect on the planet. This large, flightless insect, also called the tree lobster due to its thick, armored exoskeleton, was once abundant on Lord Howe Island, a small volcanic landmass in the Tasman Sea between Australia and New Zealand. However, disaster struck in 1918, when a supply ship accidentally introduced black rats to the island. The rodents quickly spread, preying on the defenseless stick insects. Within a few years, the species was declared extinct, and for over 80 years, no living specimens were found. Then, in 2001, researchers exploring Ball's Pyramid, a jagged, rocky island located 12 miles, 20 kilometers, from Lord Howe Island, made an astonishing discovery. Hidden among a few scraggly plants growing in the cracks of the rock, they found a tiny population of Lord Howe Island stick insects, just 24 individuals clinging to life. Against all odds, these insects had survived in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth, out of reach of the invasive rats that had wiped them out on their original home island. The discovery launched an intensive conservation effort, with scientists carefully collecting 2 breeding pairs to establish a captive breeding program. The insects proved incredibly resilient, and today, thousands have been successfully bred in specialized facilities. Conservationists now plan to reintroduce them to Lord Howe Island, but only after carefully eradicating the invasive rat population to ensure history doesn't repeat itself. The Lord Howe Island stick insect is an extraordinary symbol of survival. From the brink of extinction, it has made a miraculous comeback, reminding us that even the smallest creatures can have the most incredible stories. With its long, fang-like tusks protruding from its mouth, the Kashmir Musk Deer looks like something straight out of a vampire horror story. This mysterious species, native to the rugged mountains of India, Nepal, and Afghanistan, has fascinated scientists for centuries. Unlike true deer, it lacks antlers and instead grows elongated canine teeth, which males use to fight for dominance during mating season. But what truly made this animal valuable, and nearly drove it to extinction, was not its appearance, but its musk gland, a small sac near the abdomen that produces one of the most expensive substances in the world. For centuries, musk has been highly sought after for use in traditional medicine and high-end perfumes, fetching prices that rival gold. This led to relentless poaching, and by the late 20th century, the Kashmir musk deer had virtually disappeared. Due to a lack of sightings, many conservationists feared that it had gone extinct. The remote and hostile terrain it inhabits made scientific studies difficult, and no confirmed reports of the species had been recorded for decades. Then, in 2014, after years of searching, a team of researchers in northeastern Afghanistan managed to photograph a live Kashmir Musk Deer for the first time in over 60 years. The images confirmed that the species was still clinging to survival in isolated pockets of its natural habitat. This rediscovery reignited conservation efforts, with governments and wildlife organizations stepping up efforts to combat poaching and preserve the deer's environment. Despite this promising rediscovery, the Kashmir Musk Deer remains highly endangered. Illegal hunting continues to threaten its survival, and deforestation is rapidly shrinking its home range. Scientists are now working on alternative methods to produce synthetic musk, hoping to reduce the demand that drives poaching. If successful, this could help ensure that the vampire-like deer of the Himalayas continues to haunt its mountain domain for generations to come. These 6 incredible animals were all thought to be lost forever, yet against all odds, they reappeared, some after decades, others after millions of years. Their stories remind us of the fragility and resilience of life on Earth. But survival isn't guaranteed. Many of these species are still critically endangered, and without continued conservation efforts, they could disappear again, this time for good. So, what do you think? Which of these rediscovered species amazed you the most? And do you believe there are even more extinct animals still waiting to be found? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload.